Got it. Got it. Alrighty. I think we might be good. I think we might be good. Tammy, if you're in here, if you could go double check and make sure we got audio and all the things that are going on. Hi, Yari. Make sure that YouTube we can hear. Thank you, babe. Appreciate you. So we are going to get started with the news. So first of all, the Supreme Court today heard the Virginia, election map thing. Remember last week, the Virginia Supreme Court overturned, overturned. Why am I? I'm watching. Never mind. So the Supreme Court. Sorry, I got sidetracked. The Supreme Court, the Virginia State Supreme Court overturned the ballot measure that allowed. Thank you, Yari. That allowed Virginia to redraw its maps. They said it was the ballot measure itself was unconstitutional. Jen, I hope you feel better, my love. Jen is not feeling good. She's kind of got a migraine and she's dealing with some stuff, but she's still in here to support, and we love her. We hope she feels better. Hi, Teresa. Welcome in, darling. Please, guys, get your heart me. It's up as a gift. Oh, guys, check out the community gift. Tell me, I don't know who that guy is with Jonah, but I'm pissed. So just so you know, guys, and I know I'm sidetracking, but it's a thing. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Tam. I think we might have this YouTube done. Farah, do you see it? I do not know who that dude is. It's TikTok said that it used our live streams, our platform, and like all the things to come up with that cute community gift. I do not know who that guy is. I think he's a combination of all of the male candidates that we've interviewed. Or it's like, I don't know, a combination between Steve and T-Dubs. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. It's a random dude with a beard and mustache. Like he's not even somebody. Jonah is cheating on me and I'm pissed about it. If you must know, I'm not happy about it. So yeah, it's like a whole thing. Like I tried to change it. This was the only thing that they would let me do is name it. So I named it Jonah Hart or something like that. That's it. So that's our community gift, and it boosts us. Like it gives us an extra boost by using the community heart and giving it. So it's like kind of like the popular vote things. But I mean, guys, we finally rose to the level, our platform rose to the level of having a community heart. So, a community gift, I mean. So yay, that, right? Yeah. So, a little bit excited about that. But yeah, so last week we had the Supreme Court, right? Hold on. The Supreme Court shot down the ballot measure, and the Democrats appealed it to the federal Supreme Court, like the main, the Supreme Court, not the state Supreme Court. Well, today the Supreme Court sided with the Virginia State Supreme Court and is not and said that agreed with the state Supreme Court that it was unconstitutional, that the ballot measure, not the maps themselves, the naughty Jonah, not the maps themselves, but the ballot measure, the way they put the ballot, hi Carrie, the way they put the ballot measure in place and let people vote on it, they said was Jen, it just popped up and asked me. Actually, Farah last night, but I was on studio, so I wasn't able to do anything with it. Farah, like one of the guests, have to ask Brian to reveal the community gift. That's what I think happens. And then once you do that, then you're able to click on it and do, like name it or whatever. But yeah, so the Supreme Court sided with the Virginia State Supreme Court. They said that the Supreme Court found, ruled correctly that it was unconstitutional. I told you guys when it happened, reading the letter of the Constitution, they were right, right? Like just reading the letter of it, they're correct. But like I said, that does not mean they won't be able to do this for 2028. It just means they can't do it for the midterms. And yes, Farah. Yes, Farah, because they didn't say anything about the maps. And the thing is that the reason why Virginia did the ballot measure was because they wanted to ask voters. Well, now they know that voters, they know that their wish, right? Their wishes, they know their will, so they should just do it, right? They did it the way California did it because they wanted to get the voters involved and not just run roughshod all over them. So they can just do that. Also, I don't think appeared Prince. He really does, Teresa. Yeah, that's what AI has come up with for our community. It's weird, I know, but especially one, co-hosted by two women, and all of our producers and our contributor, all women, right? We do have a lot of men sitting on the panel. We have T-Dubs, and we have Steve, right? And we have Brian that comes on, and like all these different people. And we have a lot of candidates who are men. So I think that maybe they're an amalgamation of all the men. It's so weird. It's so weird, Jen. I don't know. So that's that. And like I said, I don't think it's going to matter with Virginia. I really don't. I think that the blue wave. True. He's Thorin. He's the lumberjack Thorin. Yep, that's who he is. Thorin Bradley. But yeah, the map as it's drawn now was drawn by a non-partisan commission. And because it was a non-partisan commission, okay, babe, thank you. Because it was a nonpartisan commission, they're drawn pretty evenly, right? Pretty fairly. And we've seen these wide swings to the left, upwards of 20, 30 points, and an average of 13. And when I looked really quickly, like I didn't dig into all of the the last elections, but when I looked at it very quickly, just like the last one, I think what I saw was the widest margin was an R plus 10. So I actually think that the Democrats have a very good chance of taking at least 3 out of 5, if not all 5 of the Republican districts anyway. That's just what I'm seeing. That's just what the data is showing me, right? When I'm looking at these special elections and how things are going, and that people are just getting more and more fed up, more and more frustrated, and all the things. Another thing that we have is 2020 election denier Tina Peters was granted clemency by Democratic Governor Jared Polis, potentially shaving years off of her prison sentence. So Colorado Governor Jared Polis, a Democrat, had been under pressure from President Trump to pardon Peters, a former county clerk who helped secretly copy voting machines' hard drives after the 2020 elections. So both parties condemned his actions, and prosecutors had filed 10 charges against Peters in 2022. They accused her of helping to secretly copy Dominion voting systems hard drives by slipping a purported computer expert into secure areas of her office using someone else's security badge. Within months, data from her office appeared online and was featured at a symposium held by MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell. A jury convicted Peters of 7 charges, including 4 felonies in 2024, and District Judge Matthew Barrett sentenced her to 9 years in prison. Peters appealed. An appeals court in April upheld her conviction but ordered her to be resentenced after determining that Barrett had based part of the sentence on her public comments rather than her actions. Polis praised the decision at the time, saying he thought Barrett had given a 70-year-old nonviolent offender too much time behind bars. Barrett has not yet resentenced Peters, but Paulus's action will ensure that she gets out of prison soon. Trump has long pressed Paulus to free Peters and earlier called him a sleazebag for not helping her. The president and his administration have taken several actions targeting this state. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Trump vetoed a bipartisan drinking water project in Colorado. He announced he was moving the U.S. Space Command from Colorado to Alabama, which I think he's going to do anyway. The administration said it was breaking up a massive atmospheric research center in the state, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service blocked a wolf reintroduction plan, dealing a blow to a program important to Paulus and his husband, who is an animal rights advocate. So, yeah, so the Trump administration and Donald Trump was really putting pressure on Jarrett Paulus to do something. But to me, like, I think that Jarrett Paulus was like rock meet hard place, right? On the one hand, I don't think he wanted to do this. I really don't. And on the other hand, Trump was doing so many things to hurt his constituents, to hurt the state, that he was just like, look, I'm just going to give him what he wants and hope that he will leave us alone. I don't think it's actually going to work. Maybe a couple things. Maybe he won't actively find ways to mess with them and he'll stop, but I don't think he's going to get any of like that Trump is going to concede on any of the things he's promised or has done so far. I really don't, because loyalty only goes one way with him. But this is, Jen said that he wanted to make an example of, I think it was Jen, when he wanted to make an example, Trump wanted to make an example of Paulus, like, this is what you get for not doing what I wanted right away, right? And I agree with that. Trump runs everything like a mafia boss, right? He wants you to do what he wants you to do when he says to do it. And if you don't, you are going to pay. One way or another, you are going to pay. And especially like Peters, right? Which I don't like, my team is always constantly talking in the chat. And I don't know who said this. I think it was Jen said this, or maybe Farah, talked about the fact that, or maybe it was somebody else. I don't know. Anyway, somebody brought up the point that Trump wants to send the message that his people are protected, even against state charges. Like, don't worry about doing things that are illegal, because even if you get caught and you get charged, I'm going to get you out of it. Because he doesn't want people, he doesn't want people to, his people to hesitate to do his bidding when he needs some shady or corrupt shit done, because they're afraid of getting in trouble. So that's why he pardoned all of the J6ers, regardless of what they did or their past records. That's why he has worked to pardon anybody that gives him money or remains loyal to him or is the least bit nice to him. That's why he's worked to pardon anybody that has done anything or remotely got in trouble for helping him, because he wants to push this narrative and push this idea out there, like, look, stick with me and you will go far. Stick with me and you are beyond reproach. They can't touch you. You are untouchable, just like I am, if you stick by me. So yeah, that's 100%. That it is what this country stands for now. It is. But if you think about it, it's always been like, this country has always been this way. This country has always been very quid pro quo. It just was under the surface, and now it's like right out in front of everybody's faces, right? Like, that's the one thing I think that Donald Trump did, that he actually did us a favor, is that he's not hiding this stuff anymore. And because he's not hiding this stuff anymore, it gives us an opportunity to shine a spotlight on it and to say, look, this should not be this way. This is not what our country is supposed to be about. But it is. This is what it's always been. And look, he's just showing you, Donald Trump's showing you underneath the hood. Right? And that's what we have to change. We have to change it. And that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're doing. We have a guest tonight, a candidate from California. His name is Abel Chavez. He's a brilliant young man from California District 48. So he's going to join us at 9:30. But until, he gets here, we're going to do all the things, right? We're going to tap, and we're going to do the gift goal stuff, and we're going to do the heart me stuff, and we're going to do the comments and all the things to get people in here so that we can have as many people in here as possible to support this young man, because his Democratic opponents really are hitting him hard. And like a couple of them are funded by AIPAC. The other couple are like Democratic establishment people. And he is the only one in the race not taking corporate money. We are changing. It's just slow going. It's just slow going because it took a while, right? It took a while for us to get to this point where it was this bad and this corrupt and this just outrageous. And it's a lot faster. It's a lot faster to break things. You can break things very, very quick, right? Okay, Stace. And it always takes a long time to fix. Like, here's a really good example. I had this, I'm a Lego fan, right? And I have all these Lego sets. And my kids bought me this, Friends, the TV show Lego set of Central Perk, right? And it took me about 3 days to put together, right? About 4 hours a day for 3 days. And my niece came and I let her play with it. And my mom was watching her. And I came back down and it was in pieces. My mom said I looked away for a second and it was in pieces. So it took me about 12 hours to put it together. It took my niece about 12 seconds to tear it apart. Yeah. It's in a box. It's in a cardboard box on the shelf behind me. So I got to put it back together. Anyway, the point is it took 12 seconds to break it, 12 hours to put it together. So with that analogy, right, it's taking long. Yeah. So it's think about it, as a Lego set, staying with the Lego theme, like the Iranians, right? Yeah, it's going to take a while for us to put the Lego set together, not only because it takes long to build things up, but because we had a Friends Central Perk set, and that set was already broken. It was already flawed because it did not work for everyone. It only worked for a small few, and it left an awful lot of people out and exploited an awful lot of people for those, few people to benefit from it. So when we put it back together, we're taking the pieces of the Central Perk Friend set, and we're going to have to turn it into something brand new. So yeah, it's going to take time to rebuild, but getting people like, Abel Chavez and Matt Gromlich and John Blake and Amanda Bell and Daquan Neal and all those kinds of people in office is how we do it, right? Getting people that aren't taking corporate money, that aren't taking AIPAC money, that understand the assignment, that understand. I know, Jonah. See, Jonah approves. Put the Jonah approve stickers in the chat because Jonah does approve. He understands. So those people understand the assignment. Those people know what it means to those people know what it means to represent the American people. They understand what it means to do things for the greater good. And so we haven't had the midterms yet. It's probably going to take more than one election cycle. I would say at least two, right? Before we can really move the needle and really start seeing progress. But the midterm elections we can take back Congress. Just taking back the House, we will get control of the purse, the money. And if we get control of the money, that most of the power is there. Most of the power in the federal branch is in the House with the money. Whoever controls the money controls everything, right? Because they say what money gets spent where. And Republicans, including Donald Trump, will have to go to the table with Democrats and negotiate for every single penny that they want. As a matter of fact, they know that this is going to happen. Donald Trump and Republicans just met and created this little war room last week to discuss what they are going to do once Democrats take back Congress. Come on, Jonah. Because they know, because they understand what's coming for them, and they understand that, because we are putting in this work, because we're going to get out and vote, because we're going to do all the things, right? We are definitely taking back the House. We're probably taking back the Senate, and we're going to take it back in really big numbers. And Donald Trump is going to be a lame duck. He is going to be a lame duck. Thank you, beautiful. Appreciate you. Yeah, this is Jonah. That's why that's why we mentioned Jonah in our theme song. It's why Jonah is on all of our friends with political benefits branding stuff. It's why he's in all my profile pictures and stuff, because he's my buddy. He's attached. Me and him are attached at the shoulder. Right, and he's going to go to bed in my hair. I don't know if you can see. There he goes. Yep, he's going to go to bed in my hair. That's what he's going to do. So I got some more news headlines for you guys. Let's see, we still got 30 minutes before we have our candidate. Okay, so Trump said that he made some fantastic trade deals during his China summit. So he departed from China after meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Over the past few days, he told reporters several deals were reached, but offered very few specifics. Put a one in the chat if you are completely shocked. Yeah, I can't co-host with you, sir. Thank you. If you're completely shocked that Trump had very few specifics, but said he has all kinds of deals that he made. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer said that a deal in which China would purchase double-digit billions worth of U.S. agriculture products was discussed and is likely to come to fruition. It was a double-digit billions, unnamed double-digit billions. And that it was discussed and likely to come to fruition, billions of U.S. agriculture products. Now, why was this specified, do you think? Hey, Stace.
Hi.
You made it back. So the reason why this was specified is because of how hard the farmers were hit, right? Because of Trump's tariffs and the way that he went at China. China made some other deals to buy soybeans from other countries, and they're not coming back. So Trump has lost many of the farmers. The Republican Party has lost many of the farmers because of what he did. And now he thinks by feeding them some fantasy story that that's going to get them back. Aren't you so shocked, Kathy? Right? So shocked. So yeah, that's why he did that. So he went to China. The whole thing was really so Elon Musk and the CEO of NVIDIA, who gave Trump a 15% stock. Thank you, Marnie. Thank you. So gave Trump a 15% stock, right, of his of the NVIDIA stock. So he took them over there so that he could use the weight and authority of the United States to get them deals, to back them up so that they could get trade deals and whatever, do whatever, you know, machinations and whatever agenda they can push, whatever agenda that they had. So really it was about them, and so that he could come back and lie to the American people. Yeah, so he could lie to the American people and say he got deals for the farmers and stuff that we know that are never going to show up. The Pentagon canceled a troop deployment to Europe. So the Pentagon announced that it would no longer be sending thousands of troops to Poland as Trump continues to wind down the US military presence in Europe. The deployment had been scheduled for some time, and its cancellation is unusual, especially since troops and equipment had already started to arrive in Poland. Can anybody think of a good reason why Trump? That's okay, Marnie. Why Trump would do this? Can anybody think of a good reason why Trump would cancel a deployment of troops to Europe? One that was already planned, and one in which you know, equipment and troops had already been sent there. Thank you, Stacy. I actually didn't do much with my hair. I just like scrunched it with some kinky curly and a little bit of mousse. So because I didn't want to blow dry my hair today, but thank you guys. I appreciate you. So yeah. So what do we think, guys? To Poland, yes. Yes. Well, who said that? Beautiful. Thank you. Yes. To clear the way for Putin. Putin does not want US forces on his doorstep. Remember what I tell you guys all the time, right? A lot of the stuff that they do is cover so that he can relieve sanctions on Putin, invite Putin back into the G7 and make the G8 again, right? A lot of the stuff that he's doing is actually helping Putin and his allies. Look at the position that Iran is in, right? We have a situation where Trump, all military bases in the Gulf Coast have been completely demolished. All of those military bases that were on Iran's doorstep. Iran is a very close ally to both China and Russia, right? They've all been taken out by Iran. And yet it was done under the guise of a war that had to be done to stop Iran from getting a nuclear boom bomb, right? Yet, just last summer, they said they annihilated their program and set them back decades. So that really wasn't a thing. Their own director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, said it wasn't a thing. The guy that resigned, the counterintelligence guy, also said it wasn't a thing, right? Joe Kent, right? So we know it's not really that. We know that it wasn't really about the Strait of Hormuz, because any deal that they've put on the table so far has the Strait of Hormuz right back in Iran's purview and control. So it wasn't about that. But what happened? What happened during this time? It gave Trump cover to release sanctions, a lot of sanctions on Russia, Russian banking, and Russia being able to sell its oil. And
So,
also,
go ahead.
Yeah, just one last thing. Also, they also relieved sanctions on Iran so that Iran could sell more of its oil. It's like, hello. You know, we have.
So you have to explain this further, because you're saying it like we're like, yeah, that's fucked up. Like, I understand it's fucked up, but there's some B and C that's missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that I get that he will use certain things to cover for him to do other things, but
Mm-hmm.
how did he lift sanctions, and how is there no process for that? Is he able to unilaterally do that, or did he have cooperation with Congress
No,
to do that?
he did it on his own, but he needed the cover because people would say, why are you just suddenly, can we get one more heart me, guys? We only needed 10, so that means that, you know, there's 23 people in here and we only got 9 heart me's. Can everybody do a 1 coin heart me if you have it? I know some of us don't even have that. Some of us don't put coins in TikTok, and I get that too. Believe me, I get it. So if you don't have it, don't even worry about it. You being here, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Reyes. Everybody is talking about how great I look. I love you guys. You guys are just so sweet. So yeah, so the thing is that if he just did it like out of pocket, especially when all the criticism he took in his first term about his relationship with Putin, about how close he was to Russia, of all the things that he did, all the business dealings he had there that came out, and all the things, you know, the things that we talked about in It Takes a Village. Right? If he just did it without any kind of pretext, people would be like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you just, you know, releasing these Russian sanctions and letting Russia just do whatever the heck it wants? You know, we did that because it went into a sovereign nation and just tried to take over. That's why those sanctions were put on Russia. There was banking.
But how does the Iran war give him an excuse? Like, how is him lifting sanctions an answer to a problem?
Yes.
How is it a solution?
Right. Okay. Got you. So when they started the war with Iran, right, we know that they started blowing each other's oil and gas fields up, right? The Gulf states, right, Saudi Arabia and all that, and Iran's. And it also tied up the Strait of Hormuz. So none of that oil and gas was getting out of there. So what Trump did, he was like, oh, whoopsie, we got to do something and put more oil and gas into the market. So you know what? We're going to have to let Russia sell its oil and gas again.
Okay.
Darn, nobody could have foreseen this.
Okay. And does the United States, does the world know that? Like, how does that happen? Like, he doesn't send it out in a Truth Social, right? How do we learn that he has lifted sanctions on Russia and Iran? And how do you defend lifting sanctions on the country we're attacking?
Yeah, I don't know how that one got passed because, yeah, that doesn't make sense, right? But they did it. But he did it with under the same framework of, oh, you know, gas is going up and I'm the president and I'm responsible, so I got to do everything I can to make sure there's more oil and gas in the market to keep prices down.
Okay.
It sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds ridiculous.
I get it. That was the B and the C of it. Yeah. It was like, I know he's doing it, but how is that a solution to a problem that we're having? Really,
I mean, it's a solution.
Well, it is but it's a solution to a problem he manufactured.
He manufactured, yes. Right. It's a solution to a problem he manufactured. Yeah. And it's a solution that no other president but him would have taken regardless of the situation.
Right. And because right-wing billionaires own all of the news outlets, no one is reporting on the fact that guys, you know how he said Russia was a big old hoax and it was a witch hunt? Then why is he lifting sanctions on Russia? Remember when he said that it was all about the boom booms and it was for safety, but now all of a sudden he's lifting sanctions on the country that we're at war at? I thought they were horrible, terrible people. And how come he's not telling us that? How come investigative reporting had to bring this to you? Wouldn't he, if it was so altruistic, wouldn't he be shouting it from the rooftops? I mean, this is Donald Trump we're talking about, right?
Huh. Yeah, exactly. Do you guys like this better? Teresa is like, I like this view better than TikTok Studio. I think you guys like the camera better. We have way better cameras on our phone now than any
Yeah.
webcam or anything we could use. I think that's what it is. But you know what I'll do, guys? There's an option on TikTok Studio to use your phone as your camera.
Oh.
I'll figure out how to do that. Okay. Maybe it'll allow me to use some of the functions on the phone too, if I can figure out how to do that. Wouldn't that be great?
Would be nice. Yeah, because they're both good for different things.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I want to be able to show clips. The only way I can show clips is through the studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the ass, right? And I mean, there's got to be a way to do it, and I know that there is, and that's why I created the Creator Initiative. I was hoping that people that have we wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel, could give like us new people like some some tips and say, hey, if you use OBS or if you do this, you'll be able to do that and use your, use the phone functions and all the things. But yeah, it's slow going. It's slow going. I just think that creators don't have a lot of time, I think is what
right. Plus, I think it might be helpful for everyone if there was a space and if you were able to put specific questions in the space. That way there's an alert that goes out, new question, new issue, help if you can, and then they might go in and see it and then answer it. Versus
I'll start
let's just
doing
all
that.
get together and talk about the problems we're having, because most of them aren't probably making lists, keeping lists like you do of problems that they're just, because I know I don't, like I solve a problem and then I'm like, that's over, and I move forward, or I figure out a workaround. I don't ever really get to the heart of the problem. So maybe that's it. Maybe just, if you have a problem, go to this space, leave it in the comments, and somebody will get back to you.
Yeah, I like that, kind of like a Reddit thing.
Yeah.
So the next thing I got is Trump missed a deadline to disclose millions of dollars in stock trades. Another shocker, guys.
Shocker. The way
I
my
wish I had
jaw.
pearls. I
The
wish
way my jaw.
I forgot to put on my pearls. I would be clutching them right now. Just telling you, I would be like, white knuckle. So financial disclosure, Trump filed last week revealed that he was fined $200 several times for failing to disclose stock transactions exceeding $1,000 within 45 days of the purchase of the sale. Notably, Trump purchased NVIDIA stock on February 10th, right before NVIDIA and Meta announced a new multi-year partnership. He also purchased stock in Microsoft and Amazon months before the Pentagon announced deals with both companies.
Nothing to see here, Lisa. It's a hoax. It's a witch hunt.
Innocent. It's completely innocent. You see my innocent face. Like, it's completely like, what you think he's insider trading or something? You think that
the $200 fine? That's like 10 cents to us.
I was thinking the same thing, that a $200 fine wouldn't even be that bad for me if I was making thousands of dollars
a minute.
Yeah, like it said
that would be the cost of doing business and minding my business and golfing.
Yes, 100%. It's just, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid that, because the thing is, if we did it, we'd go to jail. If they do it, they just get a slap on the wrist. They say, like, all right, empty your pockets. Give me whatever change is in your pocket.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing, right?
Just give me what you got. Like, what do you
just
have?
Get whatever,
like,
whatever you got.
$500 million.
You got a nickel. You got a nickel and a penny.
Yep.
Yeah, the penny. We don't do pennies anymore anyway. Just give them to me. You don't need them.
They're getting away with it for now.
For now. Yeah.
And that's why they're doing it so fast and furious, because they're like, oh shit, they coming for that ass.
They coming for that ass.
We have not thought this through. We thought that they would go quietly into the night, and now we done taken their voter rights acts back and away, and they're figuring out our shit. Did you see the video I sent of the woman in the pink bonnet? She said, I've never seen her. She was on my For You page. She was saying something like, there's a reason why even they now know that they've probably poked the sleeping bear, because they're saying this gerrymandering, we will not be able to gerrymander our way out of the Black vote if they show up the way we are kind of provoking them to show up.
Yes, and I think that that's what happened in Louisiana.
Me too.
I know we really didn't get to get into it because you weren't here for some of it last night, Stace, but I wanted to talk to you about this because it's like,
I was in the comments. I was agreeing with you. I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
100%
telling
agree.
you, they know, right? It's partly
like,
because of the numbers, right? That they saw in Texas, right? That they were diluting their own vote, right? They're diluting their own safe seats. But think about this, guys. 30% of the state of Louisiana is Black. Not Black and brown, not just Black.
Not Blackish.
Not Black. Yeah, 30%, right? So you're not like, think about 30% Black. I don't know what the Latino population is, right? And then, you know, other immigrant populations that are not going to be fond of this kind of shit. But 30%, if 30% of the people show up, that's more than the white people that vote.
The very thing that they is causing them to, or provoking them to gerrymander, is going to be their
Undoing.
their undoing, right? They're afraid that we are going to take over, that we are going to erase them, that we are going to make them the minority and take their power from them. And because they attempted to take our power from us, we will take their power from them.
You know, something that I'm starting to understand more and more. It's like I always understood it on the surface. I don't know how to really explain it, but it's like I understood it on a surface level, and now I get it instinctually, if that makes sense. Like at an instinctual level, it's like something I always knew, but didn't really want to admit to myself because I didn't want to admit that there were some people that were just that way, right? That were that bad and just thought in that way. But there are some people out there, Stace, and I think this is something that Black people have tried to get white people to understand.
And we got made fun of, and we were told we were being hyperbolic.
Yes, yeah, it is. They are mad that Black people aren't slaves again. There, I said it. They are mad. I mean, slaves anymore. Like they are mad and resentful and hateful at the thought that Black people fix themselves to even insinuate that Black people were on the same level as white people. When they were given this great gift of superiority over an entire group of people that they could own, that they could do whatever to, right? That the law was on their side and they could even act morally superior in doing it because they had this thing where they had convinced themselves and convinced each other that Black people were inferior to them, like just genetically, born inferior. And if they could keep that going, it made them feel like kings no matter what was happening. And they are like pissed, like they're mad, they're pissed. Like the guy that we were talking about that's on that podcast, like that's him. Or did you see, I shared it with you guys. It was a little old man talking about Black people, and he was so mad, and he was mad at Hillary Clinton. He said Bill was okay, but he was mad at Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton wanted to name a road after a Black guy instead of a white guy.
Yeah.
It was like seeing that and like doing the research that I've been doing, that Howard Zinn, right, People's History and 1619 Project, like really getting into the minds of these people, because it's excerpts from their journals, right? Like their diaries and stuff. So it's not just stuff, people are making suppositions about stuff. Like this is their own words, right? And so it's hard to deny, like, no, they really are mad.
Well, I think that if they could have it their way, it would be the way it was in 1619, right?
Yeah.
But I think what makes them even more angry is that we wouldn't stay in our lane.
Yes.
Like, how often have you heard, what else do you want?
Mm-hmm.
What more do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we freed your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Right? And then, yes, there was that little, clause, but we weren't supposed to know how to read. So we weren't supposed to be able to figure out that they put that little clause in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you uppity niggers went and learned to read. Now you're all up in my face.
Nothing's ever good enough for you.
Nothing's ever good enough. You're not going to be happy until you have what I have.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Because if you have what they have, then what they have is not as valuable anymore.
Exactly. And they're not special.
And they're not special anymore.
They need to feel special.
They're just another ant on a rock spinning in outer space. It does hurt. It hurts my heart. It really does. And it's awful. It's like those kind of people, it's like they shouldn't. I feel like
Careful, TikTok.
yeah, I know. KGR, when she talks about shaming them out of polite society, like I get that, because that's the least, right? And me and you have always been very give grace, right? And understand that some people, this is how they were raised and stuff. But at a certain point, the grace will actually hurt us in the end, right?
Well,
Giving
you can give grace.
People.
You can give grace and still stay out of my way. I can give you grace and still hold the boundary, right? It's like forgiveness isn't for you, it's for me. I can be like, yep, I see exactly. I can connect all the dots as to how you are the way you are, and stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah. And they still like, it is true too, what people say, that they have never been held accountable. This nation has never been held accountable. None of the people involved have ever been held accountable, not for slavery, not for Jim Crow, not for Black coats, not for the civil rights movement, not for everything that came after. They have never been held accountable.
Right. They think their accountability is the loss of their power, or the loosening, the weakening of the hold they had over us. Because to them, that is the greatest punishment. You're making it so that I'm not special anymore. Don't you understand how horrible that is for special people to not feel special? You're just denying me my specialness. That they can't imagine that there's something else you could do. Hang tight. I got something for you. You're gonna learn soon.
That's why Barack Obama was the biggest slap in the face to them, because he was never. You weren't like he wasn't supposed to have the same as what they had, let alone more than what they had, let alone the highest seat in the land.
Right. You were supposed to build that house, not be in that house. At least not in an official capacity.
And it's like they have built a system over the past couple decades. They actually use the idea of political correctness to quiet us in our condemnation of them. Right. They have set up a system where now it's bad to call out racism. It's bad to call out inequality, because the calling out of inequality in and of itself is racist and discriminatory against white people. This is the dynamic that they have set up now. Right? This is their stance.
Right. And there's more of them. There's more of them than there are of us, and their megaphone is bigger, and they have more money, and they're willing to put the full force of their resources behind making sure that their message is louder, and making sure that people see it from their point of view, because that's the only point of view, or the predominant point of view, that they have access to, right? Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, right? So when you don't have access to those, when you have access to other forms of information, other outlets, resources of information, it happened on the necessary conversation. His dad is in the hospital, and he starts having a conversation with her, and he tells her like the last couple things that it happened, because he does 12 things a day. dad's only been in the hospital a week. She's like, 3 things he said. She was like, that is not good. I don't agree with that. That is bad. And he's like, Mom, make the correlation. She's like, I haven't been plugged in. I haven't been able to see the news, and I didn't know this was happening. He's like, 3 days away from your news sources, and you're thinking for yourself. You're using your own brain to listen to what happened, use your own moral compass to be like, that doesn't sound right. I don't think I like that. Right? So you get it, Mom? And she's like, well, just give me a couple more days and get your dad settled, and I'll be plugged in. He's like, yeah, but you're going to get plugged in back to the same news sources and social media places. I mean, he got her to say that everybody in the United States has a right to have health care. And he's like, so you're a socialist? She's like, I am not a socialist. He's like, and I wanted to say what Drew was saying. I'm like, just shut up. Let her think she's not a socialist. Who gives a shit what she calls herself?
Yeah. What do you a liberty econocrat?
Yeah, that is so funny. Liberty econocrat.
Yeah, a liberty econocrat. I mean, argue with it.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to argue with. They'll go like, oh, okay, yeah, me too.
Don't miss the new party. It's the third party. It's the brand new party we're starting.
Yeah, liberty econocrat. It's like that one. Hey, I haven't seen him in a while.
Who?
The one guy that said that kind of said he was like he didn't say liberty econocrat, but he said some other econocrat, and he would talk about progressive, economics and stuff. I got to go look for him. I haven't seen his videos in a while. They might have kicked him off of here because he was making too much sense.
Right.
For real. Like, I don't know.
He's probably getting too much traction.
Yeah. Getting too much traction is right. But yeah. Abel Chavez should be joining us any minute. I sent him an invite just to make it a little bit easier for him to get here. We'll be keeping an eye out for him.
I will not be able to stay for the whole thing. I have to be back at work at 11. I just came home to grab some wardrobe stuff that I need and bang out a self-tape, and then I have to go back, and I'm done at 1 and got to be back at 5:30 in the morning. But I wanted to
love
as long as I could.
That's okay. I'll just, I got the questions in the Signal chat, so I'll take care of it. And you can just jump in if you have like follow-ups or whatever.
Yeah. I'll try to listen in as much as I can, but I'll stay on until the bitter end.
I think Abel just entered the chat.
Here?
Pretty sure he just came in. Either that or my TikTok is messing with me.
I don't know if it's TikTok or if it's my whole daggone phone, but it's wonky. Could you see me the first time I came in? Like, I turned on my camera and turned it off, and it wouldn't go away, and it was just like a picture of half of my face in the ceiling. I was like, are they seeing that?
No, I couldn't hear, and it was just your icon, and I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, I shut the app down.
Invite.
I shut the app down, and then I shut my whole phone down and left it off for a minute or so because it's just been weird all day.
Abel, I sent you an invite. You should see something that says accept or something. If not, click the little blue and pink person, like the little blue and pink people in the left-hand corner of your screen if you're on your phone. I know he's in here.
Can we, Abel, if you're in the chat, just comment something and maybe we can grab him.
Okay. Thank you, Beach Bum. Appreciate you.
Thank you for the gifts, guys.
Oh, Stace, look, we got a community gift and it's some random dude with Jonah.
Huh?
Look at the pin I just did.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen anything like that. What's a community gift?
Oh, a community gift is the AI takes like your live stream and like different images and stuff that you've used and stuff and like kind of gets your vibe and then makes a community gift, like a special gift that's just for your community.
Oh, and it's in the gift gallery?
And it's in the gift gallery. And this is what they made. It's this random dude with a beard and a mustache. We don't know who it is. I think it might be a combination of like T-Dubs and Steve and like all of the people that we interviewed.
I was going to say it kind of looks like Drew.
It does look like Drew. I bet you that's who it is because that's the last person we talked to.
Person we talked to.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Drew stole Jonah. This is messed up.
Fucking Drew.
It's called I named it Jonah Hart. So that's the name of the gift, Jonah Hart. It's in the gift thing.
Is that new?
The community gift, it's for a couple months. It's been a couple months. But it's just new for us because we didn't reach that level yet that we had the option, but apparently we've been going live so much. Yeah, we've been going live so much. So now we're like a player. Yeah, I don't know if Abel can't hear us or what. He's like not responding at all, but he's here because like I can see him. Oh no, I can't see him anymore. Oh no, there he is. Okay, invite.
Yep, I just sent him an invite too.
Okay.
There he is. Here he comes.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hello. It out.
Hi.
Hi.
Let me see if I. Like 700 doors today so far.
Wow.
I love that.
Is it hot?
Yeah, we're in Palm Springs. It's like 100 and something.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if it's 100 anymore. I feel good about it.
What is that?
That's him, I think. Well, I'm glad you've got your hat on. I hope you got some sunscreen and some water. Good grief.
I know, right?
Oh yeah. We're almost done with the. Well, I ran out of water just now, but I'm good.
Okay. Lisa to come back. I am Stacy. I am the co-host. Lisa's in the big box there. There she is.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I had this ready, but I guess I did not. Hold on. Here we go.
Did you hear what I was saying, Lisa?
Yes, I did. I could hear everything.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get out of this community somehow.
Okay.
You'll find your way out.
I'm gonna probably have to jump over a fence to get out of here.
What part of Palm Springs are you in?
We are on, let's see, what street are we on?
Pam, can you just go and check YouTube to make sure we're still good on there with the sound?
We lost Abel.
I'm back.
There he is. Okay.
There you are. Okay, I am gonna turn off my camera for a second,
Okay.
but I'm still here.
Okay.
That's okay. So guys, yes, this is Abel Chavez. He is running for Congress in California's District 48. He is the only, I'm pretty sure the only Democrat that is not taking corporate money. And true to form, the DNC and the establishment Democrats are giving him the business, right?
The good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. That's why we wanted you. As soon as I saw the video where you're talking smack and talking about what they were doing, I'm like, yeah, yep, we want to talk to him. Because this is, the thing is, like the progressives, the grassroots progressives that we have talked to is the same story. We had one where one young man who is in Ohio, he's running for a state house. And the Democratic Party spent $200,000 to try to buy endorsements against him and for their establishment candidate, you know, so yeah, you know, to keep him from winning. And he won 2-1. He won his primary 2-1. The vote's 2-1.
That's awesome.
Yes,
That's awesome.
I love it.
And
yeah, so
it happens across the board.
Yep. So just for TikTok, right? We have to make sure that you are a passenger, not driving.
I'm not driving.
Okay.
I got my driver here.
There, you got a chauffeur. You got a chauffeur.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Love it. All right. So let's get started here. So just to start us off, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about, you know, your background, your education, you know, your, why you wanted to run, like why you decided to run, your family, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. My name is Abel Chavez. I'm running for CA 48. I've lived in this community. It's like Riverside, San Diego area my entire life. And I'm running because I'm raising my family here, and nobody else in the district has a family. They're all like billionaires or multimillionaires or funded by billionaires. And they're all taking corporate PAC money, and they're all taking money from foreign lobbies. And I'm like, look, we need people that are representing the community that they serve, represent like people that actually know how to work, people that know what it means to struggle. Because if you don't know what it means to be worried about your bills, and you don't know what it means to say, oh, that costs too much, I can't afford it, then you don't really know how to serve your constituents. You're really just serving, you know, the corporations and the lobbies that are funding your campaign. I am unapologetically Medicare for all. I will die on that hill. I want to take Wall Street out of our homes. I want to take foreign investors out of our homes because they're buying all the houses and we can't buy them anymore. I want to, as a teacher, so I studied to become a teacher, and I've taught physics and chemistry. So as a physics and chemistry teacher, I saw a lot of really bright young students that weren't interested in the basic curriculum that we teach at school. And I said, we're doing them a disservice as educators. Our education system is too rudimentary. It's too basic. It's no longer what we need to be teaching our students. So I ran for school board, and I was able to secure over $30 million in funding for our students. And then from there, I ran in an all Republican school board. So, and then they elected me school board president. And I was the only Democrat that's ever flipped that seat in the history of that seat ever. And it was really fun. But we basically ended up implementing an early college high school. And our early college high school allows for our students to graduate with AA degrees, with IGETs, which allows them to save hundreds of thousands of dollars on their tuition. And on top of that, we were able to implement like trades programs, nursing programs for our students, and they get certifications And so I'm really proud of that. None of our teachers are at risk of losing their job, while all of the other districts in our area are doing layoffs. We don't have any layoffs. I was able to balance a budget and implement all these programs, and none of our staff is at risk of losing their job, and they are able to get really high paying wages. So I'm excited about that, and I want to be able to do that all over the district that I serve.
Love that. I love that. Thank you so much for that. Welcome in Jessica, Simone, Raid. Appreciate you guys. Welcome in. This is Abel Chavez, and he is in California's 48th district. So we just started. So you guys are right on time. Oh, Nene likes your hat. So
yeah. I actually, when I was when I was like less than a year old, my dad had a white hat like this, and he took a picture of me as a baby with the hat. And I was able to take a picture with my like 7-month-old baby, just the same. And he looked exactly, it was like a mirror image. So I was super excited about that too.
Oh, that's so cute. So, speaking of money, right? Influence. A lot of voters believe both parties have become too influenced by wealthy donors, corporations, and political insiders. What specific reforms would you support to reduce corruption and restore trust in government?
So that's the biggest problem in our politics. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can't fix corruption, then you can't fix politics. You can't fix any of this. And that's exactly why I don't take money from corporations or foreign lobbies. The first thing that I would do is codify a law that would end Citizens United. So Citizens United is terrible. Basically, I'm sure you all know what it is, but it allows corporations to fund campaigns. And they can fund unlimited amounts to a campaign and not have to report it, as long as they don't talk to the candidate or talk to the campaign itself, which is incredibly ridiculous. So that's the first thing we have to do, get rid of Citizens United. The next thing we have to do is implement term limits. We can't have people in office for 50 years. They're no longer serving the people. Ultimately, what ends up happening is you're running every 2 years, and it used to be that you would have to go serve, you would have to go back and speak to your constituents, and that's how you would continuously win. But now it's just a money game. So they, instead of going and speaking to your constituents, it's a matter of going and talking to your biggest donors, and then they just do advertisements for you. So this is like, it's broken. The system is 100% broken. So what we need to do is implement term limits. You do 2 4-year terms or 2 6-year terms, whatever have you, one of those two. And you're not, that way, you're not always campaigning for money. It should be about doing the job. It shouldn't be about campaigning for money the entire time. And we've forgotten that as a country. So that's another super important thing to me. I think if you run twice in Congress, that's 8 years. And then if you did a great job, then you can go for Senate. That's another 8 years. And then if you did a really great job, you can be the governor, and that's another 8 years. And if you did a great job again, then you can run for president, and that's 32 years. That's long enough. No one should even have to do that. But
No, I hear you. I totally agree. Jess or a DRC, if you want to join us, just request up, and you can join us on the panel and ask questions if you want. So healthcare costs, right, are crushing working families. I mean, we all know that. Even people with insurance, right? I have really good insurance through my job. I'm a federal employee, probably the best health insurance, right, that you could get. And all my costs have gone through the roof, right? It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Do you support Medicare for all? I know you said you did. But what does that look like to you? Like, how would it be implemented? And what would you say to critics who say that it's too expensive?
Well, first, yes, I do support it. And second, what do I say about critics that say it's too expensive? It's already the most expensive. Our country pays more per person than any other country on earth, more than double the next most expensive country. So it's ridiculous to say that it's too expensive when we're already paying more. So the single payer system, Medicare for all system, what we would do is, first, you cut out the insurance industry. So cutting out the insurance industry makes it so that we can negotiate our drug prices, and then they can't tell us no for our own healthcare. Right now, the health insurance industry is taking $1 trillion in revenue. And that $1 trillion in revenue is not going back to the people. It's going towards a lot of it's going towards their profits. It's going towards their employees' wages. And it's just a lot of bureaucracy and fluff that doesn't need to be there. That $1 trillion could be used on actual healthcare. The only person who should be able to tell you whether or not you need healthcare is your doctor. And it's incredible that the doctor has to beg or ask an insurance company whether or not you need healthcare. So that's the first thing. We would have to get rid of insurance companies and make it a single payer system where our government can negotiate against these large pharmaceutical industries. Because I'll tell you guys a little tidbit about the way that the insurance and the pharma industry work. So a lot of the insurance industries actually own pharmaceutical companies. Mm-hmm. So some of them are funded by certain. So let's say a pharmaceutical company says, I will sell you this drug for $10 a piece because I own that same company. And so they're doing it for, their own profit. But on the other hand, they'll turn around and say, but to this insurance company, I'm going to sell it for more. Mm-hmm. And then they price gouge, and it's good for their profit on their own end, but then they're all competing against each other, and we pay the price for that. Yes. So we're paying more for healthcare than we need to be. Mm-hmm. So saving that $1 trillion and actually putting it into a Medicare for all system, and this actually increases your wages as well, because right now your employer is the one that has to front the bill for you, and that's not how it should be. I'm going to take off extreme battery saver mode. So your employer shouldn't be the one that's fronting the bill. And when you remove that need from your employer, then they can actually pay you more money, and you can negotiate higher wages. So that's another thing. That's how we would look at the system.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And just for people in the chat and everything. The insurance companies own pharmaceutical companies. They own the pharmacy. They own the pharmacy benefit manager. So they own every piece along the way, and they're all playing this, shell game, right? With hide the premiums and all that stuff. And in the end, they try to force us to put out as much money as they possibly can get us to do out of our own pocket and into theirs, yeah, right? They're trying to make money. So they created this vertical monopoly system where they own every piece of it, and then they're moving things around with the intention of making sure that you pay through the nose.
Yeah, and I just read this stat today that when we go into bankruptcy, 63% of bankruptcies happen because people can't pay their health care, or they go into a doctor and they can't afford it, and they go into bankruptcy because of that, which is horrible.
Yeah. Yep. And it's all to maximize profits. Exactly, Stacey. It's all to maximize their profits. That's all they care about. And guys, I just want to, just keep in mind that insurance companies all started off as nonprofits, right? They started off as they're supposed to be nonprofits, and slowly they lobbied the government to allow them to be for-profit industries, right? And Blue Cross Blue Shield in New Jersey, because they didn't want to have to pay taxes anymore, they lobbied the New Jersey government so that they could go back to a 501c3 status and be a nonprofit again. So Blue Cross Blue Shield do not have to pay New Jersey taxes anymore, because the Democratic governor, Phil Murphy, that I helped get elected, Phil Murphy, allowed them to, because they were like, we're not making enough profit. So can we be like a nonprofit again, so we don't have to pay taxes?
So what's the stipulation, right? For, you can't just say I'm a nonprofit. There's criteria, right? So
yeah, if they can show that they are not making a certain percentage of profit, but they're not making a certain percentage of profit because they're giving so much money to their shareholders. They're giving their CEOs and their top executives these huge, bonuses and huge salaries, right? And that's why they're not making a profit. So they're like, yeah, we're not making a profit. We're not making big enough profits in New Jersey. So can we like be a nonprofit again?
They're hiding there. They're hiding it. It's like they're laundering it basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, we don't want to have to pay taxes anymore. We're not making as much profit because we got to pay all these, because New Jersey has a progressive tax system, right? You have to pay, you know, pretty, you know, fair taxes. It's still not what it should be, but compared to some other states, it's pretty decent. And they're like, oh, we can't afford it. Sorry, I didn't want to take you guys down a rabbit hole, but it's just, you know.
No, I mean, yeah, the corporations have to pay their fair share of taxes, just like everybody else. It's crazy to me that hard work, labor gets taxed at the highest rate.
Yes.
Like a corporation gets taxed at 20%, or now it's less, I think, because of Donald Trump. But a person that's making, you know, a livable wage now, is at the highest income bracket, depending on your state, right? But at the highest income bracket, it's like 35% or 37%.
Yeah, 37% federal, right? Like, and you're talking about somebody that really is considered middle class now. You're talking about somebody that maybe makes $400,000 a year, which is like kind of upper middle class now.
Yeah, and that leads me to my one of my points, is that I actually have a tax plan where we would cut the first $80,000 of your taxes down to zero. So your first $80,000 that you make is untaxed, and that would give an extra $8,000 into the pockets of hardworking people, and that would be able to help us compete. And how do we make up the difference on that? So, by the way, Wall Street, and this is my idea of a billionaire's tax. It's not the same as everybody else's billionaire's tax, but I've run the numbers, and if we taxed Wall Street, every transaction, if we taxed it at 0.5%, which is not asking a lot, you're taxing every transaction at 0.5%. If you did that, you would make $800 billion in revenue, and cutting the first $80,000 in taxes for hardworking people would lose us $300 billion in revenue. So we would make a surplus of $500 billion in revenue if we just taxed speculation in Wall Street. And a lot of the times, the speculation is simply, it's no longer humans anymore. It's AI, literally trading thousands of times per day and making a small increment of profit. And they're outcompeting regular people now that are actually trying to do something on the stock market. So it just makes sense to tax the speculation. We get more profit out of it. We get more revenue out of it. And then we let Americans actually take home their hardworking earned income.
Yeah, 100%. So my producer, like one of our producers just texted, she lives in California, and she would like to know if you would endorse any of the gubernatorial candidates, and if so, which one or which ones?
That's a great question. Honestly, just like everybody else right now, I am waiting. I don't want a Republican to take it. Honestly, if it's my heart, I would go with Ramsey.
Really?
Just because he's the best person. Yeah. If it's my heart, yeah.
But if you're being pragmatic?
If I'm being pragmatic, it's honestly, because I care about Medicare for all so much, I would go with Tom, because he is the Medicare for all candidate, and I just have to go for Medicare for all, because I'm locked in on Medicare for all. And by the way, I actually did meet Tom Steyer on Wednesday, and I looked at Tom in the face, and I said, Tom, look, you have a chance to do something that no one else has done. Everyone is expecting you to do exactly what Donald Trump did. and fool us all and use your position to make yourself more rich, but you have a chance to do Medicare for all and do what's right and be one of the greatest governors in the history of our country.
Yeah.
And since you're not, since you're already, you know, you don't have to get any money, you know, to run for this seat,
Right.
you can do this. And I was like, this is your opportunity. You can be forgotten as another
really
billionaire
could.
that screwed over the people.
California has a big enough economy on its own. You guys really could do Medicare for all just on the state level. You really could.
We can. Yes, we can. And I told him, like, you can be forgotten as just another billionaire that screwed over the people. Or you can be the greatest governor ever and get us Medicare for all and actually be a progressive and say what you mean, because you're promising us something good. And if you deliver, then you'll do a fantastic job. And if you don't deliver, then you'll be exactly what everyone expected of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Like, I know that a lot of stuff, right? A lot of stuff is going on because people want to win the election, right? Javier Becerra wants to win. Tom Steyer wants to win, right? Everybody wants to, and there's mudslinging always, right? And everybody's trying to stand out. But it does concern me. And you know, Stacy can tell you, Jen can tell you, because Jen did like a breakdown, our producer Jen, she did a breakdown because she lives in California a couple weeks ago, of like the pros and cons of every candidate, right? Like the top candidates. And thank you, Erica. And we were like, oh, well, you know, as long as it's a Democrat, because like the Republican, there's a Republican that is winning because it's a jungle primary, guys. So a Republican could end up winning California, right? Like really, like truly, because there's so many Democrats in there, Democrats that don't have a prayer of winning, but they're in there and they're dividing the vote, they're splitting the vote, right? They should not be in there at this point. They should, once they realize that they were not going to be able to, they should have dropped out. Anyway, I digress. The point is that it is concerning that some of Becerra's former colleagues said that he would show up to meetings unprepared, and that you know, he didn't seem like he was like invested in some of the things that they were trying to do. But then, you know, some of the things he did when he was in Biden's administration was really good. And I do think that he is very much an organizer, somebody who like can organize, somebody that can like just be a good manager, like that kind of thing. But I'm not sure if he's progressive enough to meet the moment that we need to really make change, enough change for people, substantive change to get people to trust government again. That's my concern, right? But I really, like looking at it, right? I do think that Tom Steyer, I don't know if he's lying. I don't know. I really don't know. You don't know. I don't know. None of us could know. But I mean, him and his wife have given a lot of their money away, to very good causes. You know, there was the money that he invested in the for-profit prison system, which Stacy and I talk about a lot, and you know, we do not like any of that. So yeah, it's like there's a lot to deal with there. I understand there's a lot to deal with.
I have a video that I actually took of him speaking about that, because he got like a gotcha question asked at one of his events, and I can send you the video. I mean, I can just talk to you. I'll send it to you, but
Yeah.
I thought the answer was pretty genuine, and I think that, you know, I'll just cut to the chase about it. He basically said it was 20 years ago. He divested, and then he's done a lot of philanthropy in the opposite direction to help people get back on their feet and not go to prison. So that's one thing. He also said he mentioned this. He said on the way to Damascus. I don't know if you read the Bible, but that's what he said. He said on the way to Damascus, Saul was on the way to talk bad about Jesus.
Right.
And halfway there, he turned around and he said, he got a message from God, and he said, I'm going to become Jesus's biggest supporter. And he said, I had that moment, and I want to change my way. I want to, I really do care about, helping the world. And since then he's divested, and so I hope he's telling the truth. I really do. And if he is telling the truth, then I think he's going to do a great job.
Yeah, Letty, I understand that. I understand we are very traumatized when it comes to billionaires for rich people, right? We are very like side eyeing them a whole lot, right? Yeah, I know. Abel is amazing. So it's like, to me, that's the people that I'm listening to are the people that are true, like are progressives and that have the instincts like Abel, right? Have those progressive instincts to say, yeah, guys, I get it. But I'm feeling this way. This is the way. And so I'm kind of in that, because I am newly, I've only been a progressive for about 2 years. So I'm kind of like finding my way, right? So listen to Black women and listen to progressives. That's my motto.
And honestly,
Especially when it comes to
like you said,
economics. Nobody
knows. I really hope he's telling the truth. And if he is, then, then I think we are going to have a really good state. But if he's not telling the truth, then I guess we were all wrong.
Mhm.
But I tend to go with my heart, and I might just go for Ramsey.
So yeah, I saw in the chat, our producer Jen said that Ramsey is Mamdani, pretty much. He's like the California, like the Mamdani of California. But
Okay,
yeah.
So I got to jump in there, right, Lisa?
I knew you were going to say something. Yeah. So yeah, Stacey is going to tell you that if Ramsey can't win,
Okay,
then
I'm gonna turn my camera on so we can okay. Hi.
Here we go.
Are you doing self-tape, Stacey? I can tell you're wearing your self-tape shirt and you're in your background.
Right, I got my background, I got my makeup. All right, okay. And then I got to go. Yeah. Okay. So in this moment, I keep saying it has never been this bad in our lifetimes, but we have never been this close to affecting real change, to getting real progressives, real people in there that are going to push the progressive agenda and really elevate the working class, those that have been left behind and discarded, and really put the country on the right path. Right? I've said it's progress is slow for people who are like, I'm tired of hearing someday. It's like turning the Titanic, right? But with the amount of seats that are open and available for us to win and take back control of not only the House, but the Senate, we voting for a Democrat, right, Abel? We're voting for a Democrat that can win, right? If you vote your part in the primary, right? Okay, maybe, as long as, I mean,
if it was a closed primary, but this is a jungle primary, Stacey.
Exactly.
Remember,
Yeah. Like I'm gonna need you to not just vote with your heart, but vote for the health and well-being and the hearts of everyone that stands to have to bear up against the brunt of the results, right? So whoever is blue at the top against the, like, I
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I think that's why he's like, I wanted Ramsey, but I think I'm going to go with Steyer.
But I heard it. I clearly heard it. At the end of the day,
yeah.
At the end of the day, I am a scientist. I do have to use my brain. So you're 100% right about it.
And I'm saying it not just to challenge you, but because there's so many people who are thinking like you are, and I understand, that nature, the idealistic spirit of like, but this is right and this is wrong and what we should have, but there's what we have and what is at risk, good and bad. And we just have to get control, and then we keep chipping away at it. And I don't think it's going to be a chipping away because once we have the control that we know is possible with getting these two chambers, it's not going to be incremental anymore. It is going to very quickly things are going to change in this country. And nobody who sits it out, not pointing fingers, but nobody who, like, I'm gonna be looking at the people who were like, well, I really just didn't like him. The same way I looked at the 90 million who sat it out. I'm gonna be like, you did this to us.
Yeah. No, we cannot have Republican. Like, honestly, I actually sit on like an all Republican school board, and one of my fellow school board members, he is best friends with Chad Bianco, and they were sheriffs together, and I was like, no, like, he's
Yeah, all the things.
I can't even talk to him sometimes. Like, it's very difficult to work with him because he's like 100% illogical, and everything is about like taking money away from like education, and it's always about like creating a police state, and I can't. But you know what? We've been able to do a lot of good things, even with 4 Republicans on my board. I've just
volumes to you.
My strategy is always to work like to be really covert and just to say, look, I'm not going to make an enemy of you. I'm not going, like, I know when I'm not going to win, and I'm not going to like throw it in your face because you're going to hate me. And so I stay very covert. And then when I can win something, when I think that we can make a change, I always say, this is for the students, this is for our kids. And I present logic rather than, rather than emotion. And most of the time we can get, good policies through.
Okay.
Even though we're on that board.
Well, I think it is a testament to you and your ability to work across the aisle, right? And to do it in a way that is not sacrificial, right? Some people work across the aisle just so they can say they've done it. And it's like, yeah, but you threw us under the bus while you're working across the aisle. So I trust your powers of reasoning and your pragmatic, logical brain. And I know your heart may be with Ramsey, but it's really with the people.
Yeah. Always.
Abel, do you have a hard stop tonight?
I do have to start driving back to my house pretty soon here, but
okay.
I think I have a good 5 minutes left.
Okay, all right, no
My
problem.
camera off. I've got to get back to it, but thank you very much for chatting with me about
Stacey.
that.
Okay. Immigration has become one of the most divisive issues in America, right? How do you balance border security with protecting immigrant families, asylum seekers, and human rights?
So I think that, well, first of all, my parents were undocumented immigrants about 50 years ago. They came across the border when there was no fencing, and they worked really hard. They created a better life for their family, and they got their citizenship. But it took them a long time. It took them like 25 years to get their citizenship. So I think that the system is broken in the way that it doesn't allow people to get processed. A lot of the times, one of the main things that Republican talking points is, they'll say it's okay if people do it legally, but then they've taken and stripped out all the ways to make it legal, and then they say, well, everyone's here is illegal. So it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to create a system that allows for people to come here legally, and so we have to hire more judges. And then we have to be able to automate the process where if someone's coming through, we find out who they are, we identify them quickly, and we say, okay, perfect. Here's a work visa. Now you have a work visa. Now you can pay your taxes. Now you can be part of the system. You're not technically a citizen yet. If you're not committing any crimes, you've been paying your taxes for 5 years, then you're automatically eligible for citizenship. But the process that we have right now is one that makes you jump through an extreme amount of hoops, and there's never a way to get to the citizenship that people really, are asking for. And then eventually they become illegal because they've just been sitting and working and trying to live their life, and the system is not processing them. So the best way to do this is to make first of all, we need to abolish ICE. So, and we need to create a different system, a humane system that's targeting only criminals. And so by doing so, you have to get rid of the way that we've created ICE, because ICE is not trained that way. And then we need to hire all the judges. We just need to hire judges to actually process people, because there's judges that are there's some judges that are doing 5,000 cases a year, and they just can't do it. There's just too many people to process.
I agree with all that. Yeah. So Black voters, right? LGBTQ plus, disabled communities, other marginalized groups often feel heard during campaigns, but then completely ignored afterwards. How are you actively engaging with like these communities and these voters, and how would their voices shape your policy decisions if you were elected?
Well, the good thing about my campaign is that I decided very early that I wasn't going to be I wasn't going to be doing everything over call time. And for those of you that don't know, call time is like the worst thing ever. You basically sit there and you try to call a bunch of rich people and ask them for money. And that's exactly how we end up with this corruption, because what politicians do is they only call people that have money. Mm-hmm. And so I decided, wait, isn't this about getting votes? Like, why is everyone trying to get money? So I said, look, why don't I just go talk to people? Why don't I just go talk to my constituents? Why don't I actually ask the people what they care about? And then little by little, I was like, hey, I'm going to knock on, 20 doors today, 30 doors, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 200. And little by little, more and more and more and more and more people started joining me. It was like, have you ever seen Forrest Gump, where he's like running and then like more and more people are like running behind him? That's how it felt, it's just like, and we, the other day I was really happy. Like, we had an event and there was 40 something people with us. And I was like super excited that like, it's a movement with the people. And that's how we really reach our community, is to be part of the community. And so that's how, I'm always going to be for the community, because I'm always with them. And I don't have to ask anybody for their support. I don't have to ask rich people for their support, because I already have the support of my community. And if I just continuously reach out to my community and ask them what they want, then I'll always, I think someone told me populism always wins in the end. And I believe that wholeheartedly. By the way, we started this race 26 points down, and now we're within 5 points.
Wow. So yeah. So I think you have like 3 other primary challengers. Is that right?
Yeah. That,
wow.
Yeah. And they're all taking money from these large,
Okay, so all right, so you got 3 other challengers, right? Is that right, or 4? How many? I think there's 4 altogether, including you, right?
If you're including the Republicans, there's like 10 of us, but like
that's right. Jungle primary. Okay, so so there's like 10 of you, right? But on the Democratic side, so the people are going to get the Democratic vote. There's 3 other Democrats.
There's 3 other main Democrats. Yeah, there's 3 other ones that are doing well, but like literally we're right there. We're right on their heels. We're within, like, we're like 4.5 points off.
Nice.
And I know we can close that gap, because
100%.
4% is not that much. And I'm the only one knocking on doors. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one talking to voters. And we have, we're doing this the right way.
Yes. And that's what's winning, right? Because that's Obama's strategy. It's just knocking on doors and talking to voters. Stacey, I know she had to drop because she's working. Like I said, she's an actress. She's doing her. So that's how they audition now. They do self tapes and then they send in the videos. But yeah, so yeah. Stacy has this idea, and she always tells candidates to like set up events at a coffee shop and do like, you know, mornings with Abel, or, you know, have coffee with Abel or whatever, and like use your name like somehow to come up with some kind of good like little slogan, and say, come ask me questions, come tell me what you need. And then you can have some people in the community come to you. And then through word of mouth, like, you know, when like, oh yeah, Abel Chavez came to a coffee shop and he listened to what we had to say and he wrote everything down, you know, that we said, and he really, you know, took our opinions and blah, blah, blah. And then people start looking, oh, well, when's he coming to my town? So
Yeah.
you know, when is your primary?
It's really close. It's
Yeah,
like
I
it's
know.
June 2nd.
June
So
2nd. Yeah,
yeah.
so like, you know, it's a way that you could like maybe hit like a lot of people at once, right? In addition, like maybe on Sunday mornings or Monday mornings or something, where you could just do that, right? Like once a week. And Matt Gromlich down in Louisiana, he had a lot of success doing that. Also, Amanda Bell in Wisconsin also did it. But yeah, so just an idea. I know Stacy would have told you if she was still here. I think you froze on us. Is he just frozen for me, guys, or is he frozen for you? Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Let me send him another invite so we can get him back. Would you say, Letty, you said we are voting right now? Oh, it's early voting now? Okay, awesome. I love that. I love that you're helping people vote. Welcome back, Abel.
Sorry,
We
sorry,
lost you
my
for a
phone
second.
over.
That's
My
okay.
phone overheated.
That's okay.
And
I know you got to go. I know you got to go and you
Yeah.
got to drive back. But I just have two like very, very like easy questions for you. If you were to be elected, would you be willing to publicly challenge the Democratic leadership?
Yes.
Okay,
I,
good. Do you believe that?
because I don't take any money from that. Like, I'm super
Yeah.
happy with that.
Yes, awesome. I think your phone's going to give up the ghost again. So I'm going to let you go. I hope that you will come back and see us. That's the other question. Like either before your primary, if at all you want to come back and just jump on here and like promote a new policy, or, you know, just talk to us about what's going on in your campaign, please just reach out and, you know, we'll get you on the schedule right away. Also, after your primary, I hope that you will come back no matter what happens and see us and just like talk to us about your, you know, your experience and all that stuff. I think that you're going to win, you know, fingers crossed. Like, I think that you're going to win and you're going to come back and you're going to talk to us about what it's like to be the Democratic nominee. So you have our endorsement for whatever it's worth.
I know we can do this.
We can. And I'm going to send you some information. A friend of ours, Danny Cook, has created this movement, Project for the People, and it's got a lot of good resources about the cuts to Medicaid, you know, by district. Like you can go in and get your actual district, District 48, and see the Medicaid cuts, see the SNAP cuts, so that you can talk to your constituents when you're out there about what's happening and what's coming. And there's like a lot of resources and there's a lot of information. So we're going to be emailing that to you. We have your email address, right? We have your email address. I think we do. Yeah, pretty sure
I
we
think
do.
so. It's it's campaign at abelchavezforcongress.com.
Okay, you guys got that.
And follow me on TikTok, on Instagram. It's abelchavezforcongress.com. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. You guys are awesome. And I don't know, I think I saw something, Danny Cook. I don't know Danny Cook, but if
Danny
if
Cook
you'd like
is the
to-
person I'm talking about. Yeah, Danny Cook is the person I'm talking about that did the Project for the People. So I'm going to give you like her information if you want to follow her. She goes live 5 days a week, and she's like absolutely brilliant. But also, I don't know how many of these you did. you've done. But there's 2 other people that I know that I'm going to send them your name, so they might be reaching out for interviews as well. I hope you got all that because you're freezing on us.
Awesome. I'm excited. I'm okay. I'd be happy to do those interviews. I hope y'all have a wonderful night.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Yeah, his connection was not that good. Yeah, don't worry about it, Mama Dukes. I have all the if you want to know what we're talking about and you don't, Project for the People, I have all the links in the link tree in my bio. It just says Project for the People and everything that you need to know, all the links to sign up, the launch video on YouTube, the merch website, like everything that you need. And guys, for all of our people, don't worry about it. After every single interview, we send the candidates a thank you email with all of the Project for the People information in it with all the links. So you guys don't have to worry. Like, we make sure that every single candidate is aware and understands and all the things. So yeah, we are on it. We are on it. We are on top of this. We're on top of this thing. Yep, I am, right? You know, I'm always organized, Mama Dukes. I'm always prepared. I'm always thinking ahead, right? And we got a great team, you know, Marnie and Farah and Tammy and Jen. They are absolutely incredible. We really could not do this without them, especially it was already a lot when we were just doing the news and all that stuff. Lisa Maria Ramirez, she's running. I did not, but I'm going to now, Bobby. If you know any others, please DM me. Please DM me. Sandy, yeah, Sandy for Danny. Sandy is, you know, Sandy is the glue that holds Danny's community together, right? Danny's live together. So she does a lot of heavy lifting. Almost got the schedule booking option finished. Okay, great. Awesome. And Cam, right? Cam. And we have our mods in here. Titus and Cheryl are also our mods in here, and they do such a good job corralling everybody. And, you know, you guys, we couldn't do it without you, without any of you. I mean, all of you, like even you guys who just like come in and you know, you do the heart me and tap and send the gift goals, right? I mean, you know, it's not like big gifts or anything, like nobody's, you know, making money off it, but it's like, it helps because it pushes us out to the FYP, which is the point, right? Which is the point, because you guys know I don't, you know, ask you for money. But I am going to be doing like a thing if you guys want to help out, and I'm not going to ask for a lot, but we want to be able to stream to other platforms like YouTube and Substack and Facebook every time that we are on. And the only way for me to do that is to be on my phone and then stream from my laptop, right? Because and then I have my iPad with the clicker going for the text, right? So I got a lot of stuff. So but when we want to watch clips and stuff and I have stuff to show you guys, I have to do it on TikTok Studio, which I need my computer. So, and I can't run StreamYard and Studio on my computer at the same time. We tried it, it just doesn't work. I mean, Mama Dukes, you know what I'm talking about. All you guys came in and you were helping me test it. So what I want to do is get like a cheap $200 laptop, just enough to where it'll stream on StreamYard, that I can set to the side, you know, extra. And all it's going to do is stream, you know, stream TikTok to those other things. It's just that's all it's going to do. Jessica Simone actually taught me that trick. That's how she does it. And that way it doesn't interfere. That way we can play our clips. We can do whatever we want on TikTok Studio, like whatever. Right. And so just to help me like kind of pay for it, I'm going to like ask you guys to like do dollar trains maybe sometimes when we're in here. Yeah, oh, whatever. Yeah, so like when we're just in here hanging out and we don't have candidates up, you know, we might do like a thing where we like do a dollar train and get, you know, anybody who can afford it to send $1 to the, you know, to the blue or the green, you know, stuff like that. Just to try, I want to try to see if I can, because see if I can like maybe raise like half of it. Get one on Whatnot. Oh yeah, I always forget about that. I know Political Jess is on that. Yeah, maybe I will, Marnie. I could probably get a better deal on there. But yeah, I just need like something basic, right? I don't care, used or whatever. Pretty cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be even better. But yeah, if I could raise like $75 or $100, like half of it, I would be like happy with that. Because y'all know that, you know, Trump and the Republicans have been, you know, acting up, and now I got to pay like a pretty hefty, you know, hefty amount for my school loans starting this month. So, yeah. So you guys know I don't like to ask for money. I like to be the one to help other people. So, but you know, we all have to ask for help sometimes, and we all help each other out. So, and you know, I know some of you guys, you know, like would want to help with stuff like that. So, and it's $1, right? We'll do it a couple, like maybe once a week or something. We'll do a dollar train and play games or something on here. I don't know, play music and dance. Whatever. I don't know, whatever we want to do, and see how much we can raise. You know, if we got deferment, Lisa, I can't do a deferment. Oh, like like Klarna and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I might be able to use Klarna. Oh, a deferment on the school. No, I did all my deferments and all the things. Yep, I can't do it anymore. And because you know, yeah, I tried and I'm like out of them, because my thing was to try to get to the next administration, because you know that the new Democratic administration is going to do something about it, and they're definitely going to do away with the Republican payment plans, which are outrageous. The Republican payment plans is like 15 to 20% of your income, like your total income, not your income after you pay for your basics, which is what the old payment plans used to be. They just want 15 to 20% of your gross income. Like they don't care. They don't care what else you got to pay. They don't give you any percent, like nothing. 20%. They want you to pay 20% of your gross income. That's the new One Big Beautiful Bill Republican plan for student loans. Yeah, everything that they've done, when you look at what they've done with student loans, when you look, yeah, I actually am working towards forgiveness, but because I went back to school recently and accumulated new loans. Thank you, Marnie. Can we get some Jonas in the chat for Marnie, please? Marnie just sent 50 on the Blue app and said for your laptop fund. I love you, Marnie. You're amazing. Absolutely love you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so I am working on forgiveness. In 3 months, I will I'll be able to get student loan forgiveness on 15,000 of the 50,000 I owe. But the V app, the Blue V app, Mama Dukes, we can't say it on here. The Blue V app. Starts with a V and ends with an O, or ends with a Mo. Starts with a Ben and it ends with a MO. Yep, the green app too. We got the green app and the blue app, and the green app and the blue app. They're both in the link tree. Rhymes with Lenmo. Yeah, they're both in the link tree, guys, in my bio. Nene's laughing at me. I'm trying to make a song. But yeah, I'll get 15,000 forgiveness for when I originally went to school for the first 2 years. And then I still owe 35,000 because I went back to school and I graduated in 2022. And so I still have 6 years. I'll still have 6 years to go of making payments while I work for the government, for the federal government, to get forgiveness. And when Joe Biden came in, and I'm so glad that you got forgiveness, a lot of people did. Joe Biden helped a lot of people. And I'm so glad, I'm so happy about that. And he had the SAVE plan, not to be confused with the SAVE Act, but the SAVE plan said that you only had to give 10% of your discretionary income. I love that. Discretionary income a month in your payment, right? And so your discretionary income takes into account all of your dependents, your standard deduction, and how it does that, it's like your dependents plus, it was like plus 200% of the poverty line, which the poverty line is 33,000. So like after all was said and done, my payment was $20 a month. So if Republicans hadn't gotten in and screwed everything up, I would have paid $20 a month for the next 6 years and gotten forgiveness, right? So, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that was total forgiveness for me. That would have been total forgiveness, $20 a month, right? I could have, that's fine. And now if they had it their way, it would have been 500. They said 500 a month they wanted, 500 a month, right? 500 a month. Then I called them on the phone. And so I called them on the phone and I was talking to them on the phone and she's like, well, you have 3 dependents, because I do, right? I have my brother and sister and my son. And all 3 are disabled, right? And so she was like, no, because you have 3 dependents, then, it should be $352, right? So a couple of the payments are going to be $500 until the new thing processes, and then it's going to go to $352, which is still a lot. It's way more than $20, way more than $20. I did not expect it, right? And it's those unexpected expenses that will get you every single time, and twice on Sunday. It is a lot, Nene, especially I'm a public servant. Like I don't make a ton of money, right? I don't make a ton of money. I'm a federal employee. I don't make a ton of money. I'm not like, I'm not maxing out like these Congress people where they get 175,000 a year. I wouldn't even know what to do with that kind of money. I really would not. Yeah, I love that they did that, Mama Dukes, that people that were disabled, that they gave complete forgiveness to. I love that they did that. But yeah, I feel sorry for the people who got notified that their payment went from 150 to 1,500, because some people did, right? Some people did. Oh, you too, Nene, you got forgiveness too. I love that. See, and this is the thing that I don't understand. People that are mad, they will actually be mad that, here, let me drop my backup account. They will actually be mad that somebody else got something that they didn't get. They were like, oh, well, I had to pay my loan, so you should too. Like, why on God's green earth would you want somebody to do something just because you had to? I don't know, Marnie. I don't know. Like $1,500 a month, that's more than some people's mortgages. It is jealousy, but I don't understand, right? I've never been able to understand that. I've never been able to understand. And something I've asked people, right, for a long time, I would say about a good 15 years. And I would ask people online, I would ask people in person when we would talk about politics. I would say, since when? Hi, Ramona. Since when has weakness, when did empathy and compassion start to be seen as weakness. Hi, Joey. We just had this amazing candidate on, Abel Chavez. Thank you. Yeah, I made it on ChatGPT. His name's Abel Chavez. He's in California District 48. He's an absolutely extraordinary young man. He looked like, I don't know how old he was, guys. What do you think? Like 28 or something? Young, but brilliant. He was a teacher. He's on the school board. And he is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, like really, really good kid. I mean, he's not a kid. He's a man. I shouldn't say kid, but it feels like a kid to me. All you guys feel like a kid to me. Yeah, but yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. I'm so hopeful when I talk to these candidates, especially the young ones. Just about no more than the early 30s. I definitely agree, Yari. Yep, he looked young, like Marnie said, but ready to roll up his sleeves and throw some elbows if he has to. Yeah, that kid really does. Like that young man really is ready. Like he understands the assignment. He's progressive. He's grassroots. He's not taking money from the foreign lobbies, Israel, AIPAC. He's not taking corporate money. He's the only Democrat in the race that he's not taking corporate money, which speaks volumes about his character, and says a lot about them too, right? Says a lot about them. Yeah, it's just, yes, he did, and he didn't. You notice like the questions were pretty different, right, than the usual questions, because like I got tired of asking the same old questions. So I like sat there today and wrote down some new ones, still kind of touched on the same subject matter and the same issues and stuff. But at the same time, they were like different and kind of more tailored to his district and to his state. He was really down to earth, very affable, very likable kid. Really, really, really enjoyed talking to him. Can't wait to have him back. Wish we could have spent more time. Like I would have talked to him for another hour for sure. I really would. But I had a couple more of the news things that I wanted to go over with you guys. So the other day, it was a great conversation, Nene. Mm-hmm. He did look like he was up to the task, Yari, for sure. So we know that the Senate voted against a resolution to end the war in Iran, and that John Fetterman, no surprise. Yeah, Kathy. Jonah's on my lap, sleeping. And Mom Dukes, he's snapping on my lap. So John Fetterman did his Fetterman thing and voted with Republicans to not end the war in Iran. And so today the House also rejected a resolution to end the war in Iran. The vote was 212. So 3 Republicans joined all Democrats voting in favor of the bill. And it ended up being 212 to 212. So because it was a tie and there wasn't a majority, that it doesn't pass. But I kind of like that it was tie. I kind of like that Republicans have gotten to a place where they can't afford to, afford too many people going to the other side, right? I love that. I just love that for them. They were not, one more, and it would have passed. But the Senate already, failed to pass it, so it wouldn't have, it wouldn't have gone anywhere, and it wasn't veto proof, so Trump would have just vetoed it. It is all those wins. Yep, all those special election wins. The CIA director traveled to Cuba. CIA Director John Ratcliffe yesterday met with senior Cuban security and intelligence officers in Havana to encourage Cuba to make fundamental changes. Fundamental changes, it's in quotes. The trip comes amid tensions between leaders of the island nation and Trump, who has suggested he wants to overthrow Cuba's government. So they went there to strong arm them, pretty much. They went there to pressure them to say, if you want the hurt to stop, if you want the suffering to stop, do what we want you to do. And you know, they don't really care about the change in government. That's a lie. It's just like how they said that they were going to do regime change in Venezuela, and they went and got Maduro, and then they just made a deal with Maduro's vice president and kept the entire regime in charge, but made a deal so that Trump could get his share of their oil sales, and he put it in a personal account overseas. Yeah. $1.5 billion in profits so far. Oh, and he took a lot of their gold too. The Department of Justice is expected to drop a fraud case against an Indian billionaire. So again, right, they're going after fraud. They're going after fraud, guys. Medicaid fraud and Medicare fraud and all the fraud. But every chance Donald Trump gets, every chance the Department of Justice gets, they let these guys go. They pardon them, they drop the charges, that, you know, there's no accountability for rich people anymore. And I know that most of you probably know this already, but they pretty much shut down the white collar crime division of the Department of Justice. If you are a rich person and you commit crime, you are good to go, because there's nobody at the FBI is going to investigate you, because they shut down the division. So the Justice Department is preparing to dismiss fraud charges against Indian billionaire Gautam Adani, who retained one of Trump's personal lawyers. So this is how we do it. Oh no. So he hired one of Trump's personal lawyers, one of his besties, and then the bestie went and whispered in Trump's ear about some kickbacks, right? It's like, you know, this is how it happened. And then Trump told the Department of Justice to drop the charges. And the Trump lawyer made the deal that they made with the Department of Justice to get them to drop the charges, part of it. Like it's a huge conflict of interest. But the Indian billionaire said, "Oh, I'm going to invest $15 billion in the U.S. economy," which is code for I'm going to give Trump $15 billion. It's probably going to go to his ballroom fund or something, which, you know, he actually just spent and kept, because we know this. We know that he just kept the $200 million that he got donated for his ballroom, because you got Lindsey Graham trying to get $1 billion to pay for his ballroom now. It went from 400 million to $1 billion to pay for his ballroom. It's absolutely outrageous that these mother effing crooks, right, Lavonda, mother effing crooks, got into office talking about the Biden crime family. The Biden crime, talking about the deficit, talking about corruption, talking about spending money on nonsense, and they are grifting at every single turn. Every single turn they are grifting, they are stealing from the American people. Yes, they are operating like organized crime. We usually come on around 8 o'clock. Yeah, we usually come on around 8 p.m. Today we came on a little bit later because we had a candidate that came on around 9:30, so we came on a little bit later. But usually it's 8 p.m. It's like, I would say, like 4 days a week we've been coming on. This week I think we've been on every day this week so far. 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Marnie. And by the way, guys, we're going to take off the rest of the weekend. We have some catching up to do on like the back end and social media and videos to edit, and we just kind of need a break because we've been, you know, on all week. So we'll be back on Monday. We have more candidate interviews coming up. Hey, Ash. We have more candidate interviews coming up. have candidate interviews so far coming up on the 19th and the 21st of next week. I am doing an interview on a Zoom call. Sorry, Nene, I had to go look at the calendar to get you guys when we're having more candidate interviews. So far next week, we got the 19th and 21st booked up for candidates. Friday in the afternoon, I'm taking off. I'm taking a staycation Friday, the 22nd. And then I have off already on Memorial Day, and then I'm taking off Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week. So it's like a 6-day staycation. What? I'm not. Am I back, Farah? Can you guys see me? Oh, okay. Farah, don't be freaking texting me all late saying what happens to the live. I thought something happened to the live. All right. I'm like, what? What happened to the live? Did I not come back? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, it's a Zoom call. I'm having a Zoom call on Friday in the afternoon with a House candidate, Susanna, who is amazing. She was absolutely amazing, and I want to talk to her. And she's, she only has 30 minutes because they're too busy. She's running unopposed, so she is the candidate. So I take up because I was looking at the calendar. Next time I'm going to give a fair warning. I'm like, guys, I'm going to leave you, but I'll be right back. Sorry about that. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to record the interview. It's going to be Friday. It's 30 minutes. I'm just going to record the whole thing and then post it so that you guys can see it. And we have other ones in the wings. Erica Kopp she just confirmed for June 11th. Like we got all kind of people coming up. Oh, Farah had her own trippy thing happen. She got kicked out of the live and couldn't come back and all the things. I see Stacy said she came back and then she's not there. So we got that. So this billionaire, another billionaire, committed fraud. He's getting pardoned or whatever. He's getting a case dropped. Trump announced the site of a planned sculpture display in DC. Trump said today that he had picked the West Potomac Park in DC to be the home of his National Garden of American Heroes. The project probably requires approval from Congress as well as federal planning bodies, making it unclear if or when construction could move forward. So guys, can we just stop for a second and just imagine who Trump would think of as American heroes? Himself, for one.
I was just going to say, start with him.
Turk, right? Who else?
Absolutely.
Who else do we think?
General Lee.
General Lee, right? Andrew Jackson.
Uh-huh.
Who else? Who was the David Duke?
Oh, sure.
David
the Grand
Duke,
Wizard himself.
The Grand Wizard, yeah, probably with his full accoutrement, right? Exactly, Nene. Mustache Man. Well, they got to be American heroes, though.
They have to be American, yeah.
Maybe Ford. What's his name? The Ford Motor Company. Remember, he put like a copy of Mein Kampf on the seat of every new Ford when he was selling them back in the 30s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Agreed. Sure. Yeah. I just think it shows that we already know he's not right and he's diminished a little bit, but when his approval ratings are so low, when nothing is going right, when he's going over to China to kiss the ring, and he's admitted that gas prices are up and they probably won't come down before the midterms and that they might even go up higher during the midterms. I mean, we know that to be true, but he admitted that on Fox News. I'm just shocked that he thinks that the American people, I'm not really shocked, that the American people will be like, yeah, let's spend some more money on some pretty sculptures. some pretty little statues when I'm losing my health care. I mean, that's what got the Mary Lou from the Necessary Conversation on board. Her husband is in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like the things are hitting. They're hitting. They're going to hit worse after the midterms, but they're hitting. And he's just so oblivious to the real life struggles of everyday people, which is what is so surprising, that everyday people still love him.
You know, what do you think that is, Daisy? Do you think when the people that they don't get it until it hits them, do you think when they see other people struggling, do they really believe that that won't happen to me because I'm white?
I don't think all roads lead back to because I'm white on a top of mind level. I think it's always there subconsciously. But I really, I wouldn't mind doing a little study into like what makes certain people have empathy and other people's not. Right?
We were just
you can
talking
see it from
about that. Yeah, we were just
you can see it. Yeah, you can see it from a very young age. Children who are very in tune with their surroundings and other people, who will share their toys and their lunch, even if the other child doesn't, isn't in a bad situation. But if they think, oh, you don't have lunch, you can have some of mine, right? And then you've got the other kid who's like, don't even think about it. You want to keep your fingers? Don't put them on my peanut butter and jelly.
And I asked you earlier, right? I'm like, I was like, what is that? I said, is it inherent or is it,
I kind of think
nature?
To a certain extent, I think there's some nature and some nurture there. I do. I mean, just the fact that we understand the whole amygdala thing, right? I think there's a little bit of both. I think one can override the other, right? You may have a propensity for one thing, and then your surroundings just squash it, at least temporarily, and the opposite can be true too. So, I mean, her son called her out and was like, so you weren't worried about it until, she's like, I get it. She's like, I should have gotten it before it impacted me.
And you could tell she meant it too.
She meant it.
You could see it in her eyes, like she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed, that she didn't get it when it wasn't affecting her.
I think it was just impossible. Like the cognitive dissonance couldn't withhold and stand up to her real life, real world experience, right? She's exhausted. You can tell that woman hasn't slept. She is, I mean, she doesn't have time for Newsmax. It's bad, right? Praying and crying and thinking that this man, please don't leave me, Bob, right? I think she can no longer ignore. And that's what it takes usually. It's not the same thing. It's very personal. What causes you to break down is different from what causes me to break down. But eventually it's just undeniable. It's like, yeah, no one should have to go through this. But I can't see it until it's happening to me. But I thought that it was, I don't know that I've ever heard a MAGA admit, like say, okay, yeah, I think that everybody should have health care. And in the same breath say, I should have realized this before it impacted me. I think, now I'm not wishing anything bad on Bob. I hope he makes a speedy full recovery. And if something were to happen to him, I feel like he would be a different person inside of 6 months, if not inside of 3 months. Even you said that you think she's really influenced by him.
I do. And I'm wondering when he's gone.
That's what I was just saying. I think you were reading.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't. Yeah, I'm not wishing anything bad on Bob. But if something were to happen to him, I think she'd be a different person inside of 3 months. I do. I think. Yeah, I think. I mean, there you go, right? That speaks to the nature end of this, because both there. Look at those people who raised those two liberals.
Yeah,
right.
Far left liberals.
Far left, right? Far left. I mean, they're progressives, or I wouldn't even call them liberals.
Yeah, they're progressives.
Yeah. You can tell. And they were raised by those people, by that man and her who parroted whatever Bob said. And I really do believe that the only reason she said that was because he wasn't there. I don't think she admits it in front of him. I really don't. I don't think
I don't either. Even though it's on tape and she knows we'll see it eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, she has admitted things, and he just is completely disengaged the whole time. He won't look at them except to call them stupid or whatever. I think she's got a little bit of wiggle room, but I don't know that she would have gone that far if he were sitting next to her.
No, I don't think so either. This is what I picture. I picture them watching the news.
Yep.
And him making commentary and that coloring the way she sees the world. You know, both Newsmax, Fox News, Sean Hannity, whoever's speaking, and him being so unrelenting. And that's her like companion. Like he's, you know, likely provided for her financially, you know, her entire life. Like that is her life. And you know, him being where he is in this rehab facility for the last few days or weeks or whatever he's been there.
About to get kicked out
next week. And her like kind of having a little bit of freedom because of that. Having, you know, some time to herself where she's not, you know, doesn't have Fox News like mainlining straight into her, you know, her brain, and him, you know, saying little I think that's what gave her the space in the room to really think about it and to just say what she was thinking, like truly feeling. And yeah, I don't think it happens. Like, I think that it was situational, right? Like the entire situation gave her the space to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, the thing that caught my eye was something that Jen had sent or screenshotted or somebody did it. And when I sent over the things to my computer, I grabbed it. It's a screenshot of a video from Jessica Craven from Substack, and it's like got a little blurb. A new public citizen report just dropped. For-profit detention companies like Geo Group and Core Civic are paying ICE detainees $1 a day to cook, clean, and run their facilities. We already knew this, right? We knew about the $1 a day. But they're threatening solitary confinement if they refuse. Meanwhile, Geo Group's profits jumped from 32 million to 254 million in 1 year. More corruption, grift, and abuse from the administration who promised that they would drain the swamp. That is staggering.
Yeah.
That is staggering. They literally do not have to pay people to cook and clean and, you know, like be janitors, probably maintenance men, right? They're paying them $1 a day because a judge told them they have to give them something because that's slavery. It just makes me want to cry sometimes. Yeah, judge was like, you have to give them something, because if you don't give them anything, then that's just straight up slavery. You got to have like slavery, but not real slavery. You got to give them $1. So yeah, they're giving them $1 a day. Their profits, like not the amount of money they're taking in, their profits went from 32 million to 254 million. What is that? Hold on. 8 times. They increased their profit by 8 times.
Bet Americans won't like that.
8 times on the backs of taxpayers and on the backs of people's family members that just came here to have a better life. These people were working in jobs, and these people were paying into the economy and helping our economy grow and helping to keep small businesses and all businesses afloat, and paying into our tax revenue, paying into our Social Security and our Medicare to keep us afloat. And now, instead of them helping us pay right for our country and pay our taxes and helping us pay into the economy and keep the economy going, now taxpayers are paying $98,000 a year to Core Civic and Geo Group to house them and feed them and clothe them and provide medical care. and Core Civic and Geo Group are hiring contractors, medical contractors and food contractors at bottom dollar prices. So these people aren't really supplying the medical care and the food, because the more corners they cut, the more profit they make. That's why they're barely even giving them a Band-Aid. That's why the Core Civic doesn't want to call the medical contractors to come look at people when they're sick, because then that's more money they have to pay out. Right? That's why their food has maggots in it and mold growing on it. Right? It's like, it's all about money. It's all about money. It's all about profit. It's so disgusting the way this, like, a couple of years ago, I heard something, and it pops in my head every time we talk about this stuff. The United States is no longer a country. It's an exploitation. It's an economic exploitation zone. It's an economic exploitation zone. They are exploiting people at every level. Some people are being more exploited more, some people a little bit less, but everybody's being exploited in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's from not getting fair wages or the benefits that we should get, whether that's being exploited by our health insurance company after we've paid, right? Paid them for a service after we've paid in case something happens. And then when it's time for them to pay up, they deny us, right? Or don't want to pay, or force us to pay more out of pocket for our medications some way, right? So that's like a minimum, right? Exploitation, all the way down to putting people in prison so that they can use them for their labor. There's a video that's going around where a judge is talking to a warden about a young Black man. And the judge is sentencing him, and he asked the warden, if I give him life in prison, what's his labor value? And the warden goes into this whole diatribe about he's like a strong young buck, right? Apologies, guys. I didn't mean to. It's just, I'm sorry. It's just, that's the way they used to talk about people, right? This is the way that he was talking about this young man, about this young man's life. And talking about him, about his sweat value or his labor value. Free labor, right? His free labor. And he's sitting up there with his fucking Southern accent, his boss hog looking self. I wish I could show you guys the clip. Talking about, oh yeah, we could put him to work. He's got years and years and years on him. Yeah, he's real valuable. Yeah, it's just fucking disgusting. It's absolutely, like, this is, it fucking drives me nuts. It drives me nuts that they're so, they're so fucking bold is the TikTok version of what I want to say. They're so fucking bold in their racism and in their depravity, like they're depraved, wanton, capitalistic, give me all the money we can, like, it's just disgusting. Like, the level is just disgusting. Have any of you guys seen it? The clip I'm talking about? I've seen 2 different versions of it so far.